All right, India team captain Virat Kohli is addressing a press conference. Let's go across live. He's talking just a day ahead of that big day and night test match to be played between India and Bangladesh tomorrow. Let's take a look.
A feel of pink ball cricket, eventually it had to happen, but you can't bring up those things before a big tour that you're going to, and suddenly in the schedule there's a pink ball test when we haven't even practiced with pink ball. We haven't played any first class games with pink ball. So look, the thing was to experience the pink ball test in our own conditions first, so you get a hang of how the ball behaves, what is the way to sight the ball, and so on and so forth. Then eventually going on and playing pink ball test anywhere in the world. So it can't be a sudden thing. This one we had been talking about for a while. As you saw, a few guys practiced even before the series started. So you can't just 2 days before you get onto a plane say we're going to play a pink ball test in a week's time. So we didn't think it was logical from that point of view. It needed a bit of preparation, and once you get a hang of it, once you're used to playing it, there's no problem in playing at all. You can assign sessions accordingly, you can plan in a better way, you can plan in advance. So we just felt like it was more of a spontaneous plan rather than it being planned over a period of time, which I think any change needs to have that much time for it to sink in, settle in, and then eventually we are open to doing anything.
Hi Virat. Yesterday Virat, both Vittori and Saha spoke about the difficulties you guys or the players will have in the twilight period to adjust with the pink ball under lights, especially when the transition happens from the day to evening. But historically the numbers of day-night tests suggest that the wickets generally fall more on the first session. So your take on that, is it the freshness of the pitch, the grass, the pink ball, or the transition of the twilight? What is going to be the more difficult thing?
I think in general, if you haven't played with the pink ball before, it's going to be challenging throughout the game. That's what I feel. You'll require more concentration, more solid technique, more compact game compared to the red ball, purely because anyways, in the longer format, the ball does a lot more than the white ball. And add not having great visibility or the ability to pick that color, it makes it even more difficult. So as you can imagine, the decision making will have to be very precise. Your idea of off stump, and I think that's going to be the most crucial thing, because even yesterday when we practiced, you felt like the ball could be closer to you, but it's actually not that close to the off stump. So I think that channel one will have to be careful. And even with catching the ball, we felt like how you feel like the white ball in afternoon. You don't really know how far the ball is, and then it hits your hands very quickly. And even in the slips, it was flying pretty fast. So I think the extra glaze on the ball is making it travel faster, and it hits the hands very hard as well. So it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be something which should excite everyone, because sometimes you need to change the template and be excited for new challenges and new things that you're going to try out. So I think we'll have to be very precise, and our skills will be tested in this test.
Virat, following up on the first question, now that you have said that you will be open to playing pink ball test in other countries also, what kind of sort of practice games would you like to have while going forward, say playing a test match in Australia with pink ball? Would you like to have an added practice game with the pink ball before you plunge into that?
I think it depends when the test happens. If it's the first test, then obviously before the first test, whatever practice games you play, one of them can be normal, red ball practice game, and one before the test could be a pink ball practice game. But if it's the second or the third test, then I would ideally like more break between the two tests and have a practice game before the pink ball test, whenever that is. With obviously playing under lights. So it can't be before the tour you play a pink ball test practice game, and then the test is actually the third game. That wouldn't make any sense. So I think whenever it is, there should be a practice game planned just before that test, and accordingly we should have enough days in between. जी. काफ़ी अच्छा ओकेजन है वैसे भी हम लोग वैसे ही एक्साइटेड थे काफ़ी पिंक बॉल टेस्ट को लेके जैसे मैंने बोला एक नया चैलेंज है हम लोगों के लिए लेकिन आई थिंक इससे पहले ईडन में इतनी एक्साइटमेंट और इतनी बज इंडिया पाकिस्तान T20 गेम की थी जो हम लास्ट वर्ल्ड कप में खेले थे, और वहां पे भी बड़े बड़े दिग्गज आए थे और सबकी फेलिसिटेशन हुई और पैक स्टेडियम था. तो आई थिंक उस तरीके का ही एटमॉस्फेयर होगा. बहुत डॉन्टिंग इंटिमिडेटिंग भी हो सकता है, लेकिन बहुत एक्साइटिंग भी है. मतलब अगर आप बैटिंग भी कर रहे हैं, अगर आप बॉलिंग भी कर रहे हैं, तो जो बैट्समैन जाएंगे बाहर उनके लिए पूरा सपोर्ट होगा. जो बॉलर अपने मार्क पे खड़े हैं उनके लिए 80,000 लोग चीयर कर रहे हैं नई बॉल से, और वैसे भी पिंक बॉल से खेलना इतना आसान नहीं है, तो बॉलर्स को और बूस्ट मिलेगा. तो आई थिंक काफी पहला सेशन, मुझे लगता है पहला घंटा जो होगा काफी एक्साइटिंग क्रिकेट होगी, क्योंकि वो एनर्जी इतनी हाई होगी और लोगों को भी बहुत मजा आएगा. तो आई थिंक ये ऑब्वियसली एक लैंडमार्क ओकेजन है इंडियन क्रिकेट में, और जैसे मैंने पहले बोला कि हम लोग लकी हैं कि हम लोग इस चीज को शुरू कर रहे हैं, और ये सबके लिए एक ऑनर की बात है.
In the southern hemisphere and in England, cricket's
Sorry,
summer
I couldn't. Guys, मेरे को सुनाई नहीं.
in the southern hemisphere and in England, cricket's a summer sport. In the subcontinent, it's a winter sport. What are the sort of playing and logistical challenges of a day-night test match, for instance, in a place like India as opposed to somewhere like Australia or maybe New Zealand?
I think in India we have one big factor, which is dew, which is going to be something we'll have to sort of, spoke to the match referee as well yesterday, something we'll have to speak about and discuss as we go along with playing the game. You can't really predict how much mopping or how much cleaning of the dew is required at what stage. You never know when the dew is going to arrive. So he had the same discussion yesterday that we'll have to sort of play it as it comes and manage it in the best way possible. So I think that is one difference with playing a day-night test in India compared to any other country. Apart from that, I don't really feel there are any major differences. Just the dew factor is something that's going to be definitely a factor in India in the last session, most probably. So that is about the only change I see. I mean, obviously the pitches and how much the kookaburra does is a different ball game altogether. The quality of the ball, so all those things really matter a lot. But invariably, I think the pink ball test, even more so in foreign tours and foreign conditions, will tend to do a lot more than it would in India in probably the second and third session as well. So these are the few changes that I presume. Again, they could be totally inaccurate until you actually go and experience that. So yeah, but from the outside, it feels like these are the few things that might be different.
Virat, what's your take on the overall health of Test cricket worldwide? Do you think there is one half that is getting stronger and another that's getting weaker?
You could say that. You could look at all. I can't speak for another team or another cricket board how they look at Test cricket, how they want to manage it. But from our point of view, from the BCCI point of view, the only discussion we've had over the last 2-3 years is how can we keep Test cricket right up there. And that takes the commitment of the board, firstly. Secondly, the total commitment of the players, wanting to do everything that's required to keep the standard of Test cricket high. And if you look at how, exciting as a team we've been over the last 2-3 years, that tells you in the way people come and watch us play as well. So I think it's a partnership of the board and the players moving in one direction together. If you look at our contract system as well, a lot of importance has been given to Test cricketers. So I think all things have to coincide, and every cricket nation that has done that, invariably those are the ones that are playing strong Test cricket, and their heart and their minds are totally in sync with keeping Test cricket on top. So I think everything has to be taken into account. You can't just tell the players you have to be committed to playing Test cricket, but contractually we're not going to do anything for you. So I think because we are professional players, we earn a living as well. As long as Test cricket is displayed or actually in facts said to be the most important format, I think everything around that has to happen in that same manner. So speaking from our team's point of view, that was our main goal. How can we tell the players, the Test players, you guys are the most important, because the other formats are taking care of themselves anyway. You have so many people coming up and playing different white ball cricket, but Test specialists are very difficult to find. Only someone who has gone through the grind for 5-6 years in first class cricket and still continuing to do so are the ones that eventually make it. So yeah, I think the players need to be taken care of, but at the same time the players need to respond in a manner that they're giving 120% every test match, and I think as long as teams are willing to do that and cricket boards are willing to do that, test cricket will always stay on top.
Virat, good morning. Virat, given the dwindling stadium attendance as far as test cricket is concerned, except maybe in England and Australia, do you think, say, and the way the world has changed, do you think 5-6 years down the line, pink ball day-night test is going to be the long-form stable diet?
I don't think so. I don't think this can become, or this, in my opinion, this should not become the only way test cricket is played. Because then you're losing out on, that nervousness of the first session in the morning. You can't, yes, you can bring excitement into test cricket, but you can't purely make test cricket based on just entertaining people. The entertainment of test cricket lies in the fact that a batsman is trying to survive a session, a bowler is trying to set a batsman out, and if people don't respond to that, too bad. I mean, whoever wants to respond to that will come and watch test cricket. You can't, if I don't like test cricket, you can't push me to like test cricket. If someone gets an excitement or a boost from watching that battle between bat and ball and great session of test cricket, in my opinion, those are the people that should come and watch test cricket because they understand what's going on. So yes, it's great to create more buzz around test cricket. You see first 3 days or maybe 4 days here are sold out, which is amazing for test cricket. But I think Rahul Bhai mentioned this recently, if you have a test calendar where the series and the tests are fixed, then obviously it'll bring a lot more system, a lot more sync into people planning their calendars as well. It can't be random saying we never know when a test match is going to arrive. So if you have centers which are marked and you have test calendar which is marked, obviously people will have a better system as to how we can plan to get into those tests. People are not just going to leave work and come to a test match. If they don't know what's going on, they can plan in advance like you plan anything in life. So I think this can be a one-off thing. It should not, in my opinion, become a regular scenario.
Just a follow-up question. Like Sunny Bhai has said, statistics for red ball test and pink ball test should be separated. Do you endorse the view?
Well, I would like to understand more about why he said that. After that, I'll be able to understand the main reason behind it. But again, unless I discuss it, I can't really comment about it because I haven't thought about it. This is the first time I'm hearing it now, so I can't be that spontaneous in telling you what I feel about it. I see him a lot of the time, so I'll ask him, what the mindset is, and I'm sure if he's talking about something, it has to be said with a lot of logic and a lot of thought behind it. So I'd like to discuss with him, the reason behind it and understand what he said.
The last two games.
Virat, you had your first full season in pink ball. I think as squad was there yesterday. Can you elaborate on what you learned about pink ball when apart from you said it came on the hands pretty quickly? Can you elaborate a little bit on all that you learned yesterday about pink ball?
Yeah, look, batting is something that we were focusing on a lot as a batsman. Invariably, you end up thinking a lot more about, cutting down those errors when you're playing with a different colored ball. It's going to be more challenging. So as batsmen, we were in the mindset of, solidifying our games and techniques. So we were pretty fine with that. But the one thing that surprised me about was fielding sessions. How in the slips the ball hit your hand so hard. It almost felt like, a heavy hockey ball that you might play with, or those synthetic balls that we used to play when we were younger. It really felt like that on the hand, and it's purely because of the extra glaze on the ball. And it's definitely much more harder and it felt a little heavy. Obviously, it can't be, difference of weight, but for some reason it felt heavier, and even the throws took a lot more effort than the red ball to, reach the keeper. And again, dip perception was very difficult when the ball went up in the air. So I think during the day, high catches will be very difficult. We had to watch the ball straight into our palms more often than not. When you used to red ball and white ball, you just catch with an idea of knowing how fast the ball is coming down. But this time, if you don't look at the ball in your palms, it's gone. So I think the fielding session for me was far more challenging. Batting, anyways, as I said, because the mind was already tuned into wanting to play solid, so we didn't have that many difficulties because we had practiced before as well. But I think fielding is going to be, people are going to be surprised how challenging fielding with this ball can be.
Final question.
विराट रिद्धिमान शाह का जैसे फॉर्म चलता है T20 में घरेलू क्रिकेट या IPL में, क्या कभी आप उनको लिमिटेड ओवर क्रिकेट में देखते हो इंडियन टीम के लिए?
ये सर बहुत मुश्किल सवाल है क्योंकि वो वर्ल्ड क्लास कीपर हैं, सबको पता है ये। लेकिन आपको फॉर्मेट के हिसाब से आपकी जो बेस्ट टीम है वो कंपाइल करनी होती है। अगर आप रिद्धि की बात करें तो जी उन्होंने डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट में आईपीएल में अच्छा परफॉर्म किया है, लेकिन आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा कि आईपीएल में 8 टीमें हैं, तो हर टीम में कहीं ना कहीं जो इंडियन प्लेयर्स हैं वो फीचर कर रहे हैं। तो बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है ये समझना कि कौन किससे ऊपर है छोटे फॉर्मेट में और कौन ज़्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता है। जिस पोजीशन पे वो खेले हैं T20 क्रिकेट, क्या वो उस पोजीशन पे खेल पाएंगे इस टीम में या नहीं। तो आई थिंक ये सारे फैक्टर्स आपको देखने चाहिए और देखने पड़ते हैं। कोई अगर रिद्धि जैसे टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर परफॉर्म करते हैं तो वो 5 या 6 नंबर पे नहीं फीचर करेंगे T20 में। तो आई थिंक ये चीज़ें समझना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है कि किसी ने परफॉर्मेंस करी तो कौन सी पोजीशन में करी। हम काफ़ी बार परफॉर्मेंस देख के एक्साइट होकर बोलते हैं सिलेक्ट हो जाना चाहिए, और जब वो 6 नंबर पे खेलेंगे तो बोलेंगे परफॉर्मेंस रेप्लिकेट नहीं हो रही है। लेकिन डिफरेंट सिचुएशन में T20 क्रिकेट में ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क हो जाता है आपकी स्किल सेट का। तो आपको स्पेशलिस्ट चूज़ करने होते हैं। आप इस टीम में देखिए तो टॉप ऑर्डर में आपको जगह मिलनी मुश्किल है क्योंकि हम लोग कंसिस्टेंटली परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं। बट उन्होंने काफ़ी अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस किया है। इन फ्यूचर यू नेवर नो कि कैसे चीज़ें बदल सकती हैं, कैसे कॉम्बिनेशंस आगे आ सकते हैं। लेकिन एट द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट मुझे नहीं लगता है कि एट द टॉप ऑफ द ऑर्डर जगह मिलनी इतनी आसान है इस टीम में। मोस्टली हम लोग जो थोड़े बहुत डिफरेंट पोजिशन है सिर्फ उनको सॉलिडिफाई करने को देखना है।
Thank you. Thank you.
थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
That was Indian cricket captain Virat Kohli pointing out and looking forward to the first format, the first ever day-night format for the Test cricket. Vimal is with us on the broadcast to give us his perspective. Vimal, when you hear Virat Kohli, he clearly is welcoming the change or the innovative formats which are being tried in the Test cricket. But he has his own set of doubts and apprehensions as we move forward.
Obviously, belatedly, it must be admitted that Virat Kohli and BCCI, they particularly have embraced the idea of Test cricket in night. Because if you look at the top cricketing nations, all have played Test cricket. India is the last. 2015, the first Test match was played between Australia and New Zealand. And now in 2019, finally India has decided, and it's purely because of Saurav Ganguly, former India captain, and now BCCI president, insistence. Because Virat Kohli is somebody who has always been reluctant because he was not very confident of pink ball Test matches, and that's why at the point of time when Anurag Thakur was the BCCI president, he wanted to introduce pink ball Test. At that time, Virat Kohli did not want, and India did not play pink ball Test match. Yeah. But I think apprehensions are in a way justified because if you look at from players' perspective, Test cricket is ultimately you don't want to lose a Test match against Bangladesh because especially if you look at it in the evening, in an hour or so, the game can turn around dramatically. That they want to avoid because it gives the lesser team some chance for a miraculous victory. That kind of apprehension is obviously will be there. But I think India is too strong a side against Bangladesh, and no matter what the conditions, they will prevail.
All right, India is too strong a side. But talking more about the format, Gaurav, and trying to take a perspective from you, internationally in the world of cricket, how successful the concept of day-night cricket has been. Do we have lessons that we can learn from the world? Gaurav, if you can still hear me.
For the last 4 or 5 years now, day-night Test cricket has been played around the world, in Australia, in the West Indies, in England as well, in the Gulf. Pakistan have played day-night Test cricket. So far, there's been 11 Test matches, and with varying degrees. I mean, quite clearly, conditions in those local in the countries make a big impression as well. But I think the bigger picture with the day-night Test cricket is the idea that it will encourage greater traction towards the Test match game. It will attract more audiences to the grounds. We've already heard from Saurav Ganguly, who's made the point about the first 4 days of the Test match being sold out, and gradually players and their apprehensions will have to take a back seat in comparison to the larger picture here, which is that the Test match game needs that sort of boost because in this time there have been some problems with regard to attendances, etc. So I think from that perspective, this comes not a day too soon in India, and the learnings from this game, it may not go out perfectly for India. It may not even go perfectly from the point of view of a Test match. But I think there will be takeaways from this that will then be used for organizing this sort of cricket for going down the track, and maybe it will become a permanent fixture in the Indian calendar every home season from here to the next foreseeable future.
Right. And talking about the fact that especially the Test cricket in India, there have been multiple talks, experts, former cricketers have suggested that we need to try innovative things, new things to get more people to come and watch the Test cricket at a time when IPL, 2020 or one-day internationals are surviving the formats. Virat Kohli also talked about the fact that Test cricket needs its own set of audience, its own set of experts. Your assessment and, what your impression has been like speaking to various experts about the new format or the pink ball format that we are trying?
Well, as Gaurav was suggesting earlier on, that it is not really a new format around the world, but yes, in India it is being tried for the first time. So there is that sense of novelty around amongst the fans, amongst journalists like us, and amongst people as to what this is going to play like. The moment the sun sets, what is that pink ball going to do? Also, for the players themselves, I mean, Virat Kohli spoke about it in the press conference, that how it was not just the batting that is going to be tricky, but also fielding, because that's something that they found difficult to adapt to. He talked about how that ball is harder and catches in the boundary line, those will be difficult to catch. So I think there are a lot of things that people have been discussing and talking about this day-night cricket. Former cricketers have been talking about how dew is going to be a huge factor that will that'll come into play later on in the day at the Eden Gardens. There are people who are talking about even batting. Daniel Vittori is talking about spinners and whether how they are going to be be able to adapt to the pink ball. So I think the sense is that this is something new, this is something exciting, this is something different. Whether it'll attract the crowds that it is meant to, we'll only find out in the coming time. But I think people have started talking about how different this will be, and that's a good sign, because that'll only get the interest. That'll only get people to be more interested in it, and that's a good sign with respect to Test cricket.
Absolutely. And as Meha is rightly saying that there are things about it which are not really new, but clearly something that we want to attract more crowds, and only time will tell how this pans out. Gaurav, Meha and Vimal, please stay on with us. Here's a special report, lights, pink ball action. On the 22nd of November at the Eden Gardens, the Test cricket in India will undergo a massive revolution, as players will take part in the first ever day-night match. Here's a special report that we put forward for you.
The stage is set and everyone is now waiting for the pink ball to set rolling. But before that, let's take a look at how these balls are made. SG, which is a Meerut-based sports manufacturer, is solely responsible for delivering the match balls. The BCCI has asked the company to deliver a batch of 6 dozen pink balls in the first week of November. The balls are manufactured in their factory situated in the outskirts of Meerut. While the ball is made in the same way as a regular red or white ball, the different colored leather means there are quite a few challenges. Moreover, this will be the first time that SG pink balls will be used for a test match. The last time when such balls were used, SG received a lot of flack as it had lost shape and shine very quickly and offered very little to the bowlers. However, this time, the balls are expected to last better as they have a hand-stitched seam which will help retain its shape longer. The ball is also designed in such a way that it stays hard for at least 50 to 60 overs and can benefit both pacers as well as spinners.
हमने अपनी तरफ से कॉन्फर्मेशन दी थी कि हम लोग रेडी हैं, हमने काफ़ी ट्रायल्स करे हैं और जो हमारी बॉल है वो और किसी बॉल के बराबर है, वर्ल्ड में किसी और बॉल के बराबर हो गई है पिंक बॉल.
And playing a day and night test match with pink balls, it comes with its own set of challenges. What are those challenges? Playing with a pink ball is going to be a completely new experience for Team India. Remember, right now they play with the red cherry for test matches and the white ball for one-dayers and T20s. Batsmen will find it hard to spot the pink ball, particularly in the twilight hours when there is both the floodlights as well as fading natural light. The pitch could potentially be doctored to try and minimize any kind of abrasive wear and tear to the pink ball. Remember, there was huge criticism the first time it was used that the ball was just coming off the seams. Dew, and remember, in Eden Gardens, this is always a big factor. Dew could be a huge factor as the game goes ahead into the evening and then the nighttime hours. The cricketers are used to playing day and night limited overs, and that too with white balls. This is going to be a completely different kettle of fish.
India and Bangladesh will face off in a historic match starting 22nd of November at the Eden Gardens Stadium in Kolkata. It'll be the first time that either of the two teams will play a day-night match. Now, what to expect, what is at stake here, and what it could bring to the Test cricket format? Have a look.
In less than 48 hours, Indian cricket will step into the unknown. The world #1 team will embrace Test cricket under floodlights for the very first time. And it's not just the cricketers who are gearing up for the revolution. Aerosmith released a song called Pink is the new obsession in 1997, and 22 years later, that is the common feeling in the City of Joy. From a giant pink balloon flying close to the stadium to lighting up monuments with pink lights, Kolkata is leaving no stone unturned to make the spectacle a grand success. And for the match itself, CAB has special plans. Army paratroopers will fly down to hand over the pink balls to the two captains, and a galaxy of sports stars will take part in a victory lap during tea break. The city's own BCCI president has set about to ensure that the historic match is a grand spectacle.
All right, that